bah non, la semaine prochaine, je dirais. Ben non, mais je sais, mais ils ont voté. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je dise?
Before Midnight is the third, and as of right now, final entry in the Before series, which started in 1995 with Before Sunrise, continued in 2004 with Before Sunset, and possibly concluded in 2013 with Before Midnight. I say possibly because there are chances director and co-writer Richard Linklater and lead actors and co-writers Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke could continue the series at some point. A warning, I will be giving away plot details that will spoil some of Before Sunrise and Before Sunset. So if you haven't seen those films, you probably should before watching more of this review. You should also check out my reviews of the first two films if you haven't. They're pretty awesome, and links to them can be found in the video's description as well as at the end of the video. Anyway, Before Midnight takes place 9 years after the events of Before Sunset, which took place 9 years after the events of Before Sunrise.
We met about 18 years ago. We kind of, sort of, fell in love a little bit, and then we lost track of each other. And a decade later, we ran into each other.
No, we didn't run into each other, sweetie bear.
We didn't?
Yeah,
What?
you wrote a book inspired by our meeting.
Yeah.
And I read about it and went to look for it.
Oh, that's pretty romantic.
It was
Not
really
really, not really. He neglects to mention he was married, had a kid.
Details.
Yeah, that part was a disaster.
It wasn't a disaster. It was inevitable.
Jesse, played by Ethan Hawke, and Celine, played by Julie Delpy, aren't married, but they're in a long-term relationship as they live in Paris with their twin daughters and occasionally see Jesse's son Hank, who Jesse had with his first wife. After vacationing with Jesse and Celine in Greece for the summer, Hank flies back to Chicago, much to Jesse's sadness. Jesse's tired of living so far away from Hank, who lives with his mother. Jesse's first wife has hated our true protagonist since Jesse left her for Celine. We never see Jesse's ex-wife, but from what Jesse and Celine say about her, she's an emotionally abusive alcoholic who uses her son to get back at Jesse. Jesse wants to find a way to see his son more.
I guess I just thought somehow he'd end up living with us somewhere along the way. You know, now time's going by so fast. And here we are. It's high school, you know. There's girls. You know, next thing you know, it's college applications.
Meanwhile, Celine is thinking of leaving the environmental organization she's been with since before the events of Before Sunset and starting somewhere new with a possible dream job. She doesn't want to give that possibility up to move to America so they can only see Hank every other weekend.
That's less than 30 days a semester, and I don't think it's worth it for us to change our entire lives over that kind of time.
As you can imagine, this conflict creates doubts in Celine, and she wonders whether their relationship can continue.
This is how it happens. You're unhappy, you blame it on the other person, resentment grows, everything slowly rot, and you break up.
You're just
That's
doing
it.
this to shut me up.
Not at all.
No, you
Not
are.
at all.
That's what you're doing.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually surprised we lasted this long.
Oh, okay. So here comes
We're on parallel tracks for a while, but now tracks have crossed, and I'm going west and you're going east. And believe me, this is how it happens. I've seen it, okay? Catherine, Alexandre, Thomas.
You're kidding, right?
Well,
You're kidding.
no. I'm kidding. And I'm not.
Jesse seems more confident about all that, but he doesn't know how to close the gaps in his time with his son. The film follows Jesse and Celine's struggles throughout one day as they work out their problems and determine the future of their relationship as they spend time with friends in Greece, walk around and talk, and spend a rough night alone in a hotel room. Before, get it? Because I'm talking about Before Midnight and... Anyway, before anyone gets nitpicky about it, as I mentioned earlier, I know Jesse and Celine aren't married in this movie, but I think Before Midnight's messages and themes can apply to long-term relationships and marriages. Before Sunrise felt like an endless series of moments, conversations, and vignettes that went on forever, in a good way. Before Sunset was just Jesse and Celine walking around Paris catching up. But there's not much of any of that in Before Midnight. Only 18 minutes of the film is Jesse and Celine walking and talking aimlessly. A large chunk of the movie is them taking care of their kids and hanging out with their friends. The abundance of the latter scenes and the lack of the former, combined with the fact that there aren't many scenes, sequences, and shots in the film to begin with, make Before Midnight fly by. I wonder if this was intentional. If Linklater, Delpy, and Hawke wanted to show how much faster adult life seems when compared to our youth. My theory seems backed up by something Jesse says.
When I was younger, I just wanted time to speed up. You know?
Why?
Well, so I could be on my own, so I could be free from my parents and school and all that shit. You know, I just wanted to close my eyes and wake up and be an adult. And now I kind of feel like that happened, and I just want everything to slow down.
Intentional or not, it's an appropriate theme to explore in a film about the realities of a long-term relationship where, after a certain age, life can be whizzing by and we're desperate to find time to spend with our loved ones. But parent and adulthood leave little time for one-on-one experiences.
Oh, God.
What?
No, nothing.
What?
This is so weird.
What do you mean?
just this. Us. Walking, having a conversation about something else than scheduling, food,
Right.
work.
Yeah, I mean, how long's it been since we just wandered around bullshitting?
Do you hear what I hear?
To see?
No.
What? Oh, no small feet. No, nothing being knocked over, nothing we have to clean up, no injustices being done.
The first two Before films, especially Before Sunrise, are all about pure, romantic, idealized love with grand, passionate declarations. Before Midnight is about the everyday, real-world, practical experience of being in love. Instead of...
And you know how they say we're all each other's demons and angels? Well, she was literally a Botticelli angel, just telling me that everything was gonna be okay.
we have...
Will you be able to put up with me for another 56 more years?
I am looking forward to it.
Shit, you're really working it.
The Light is still romantic, but in a smaller, less showy package. As you get deeper into a relationship, I found you still like the bigger moments, but the memories you cherish the most tend to be the unplanned, seemingly inconsequential moments when you sometimes pointlessly talk about this or that or give each other a little affectionate look. Linklater, Delpy, and Hawke certainly capture those moments in abundance in this series, but especially in Before Midnight. And as we get older and our relationships evolve and grow, inevitably we find those we love have habits, quirks, and foibles that drive us up the wall. Jesse and Celine are in the middle of that, and internal frustrations are forcibly bubbling to the surface.
I'm the one at home every day at 6, not 6:30. I'm reliable. Have you ever booked a babysitter ever in your entire life? No. What is the name of their pediatrician?
Stop quizzing me. All
don't
right? It's
know.
really fucking boring.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm at home every night and I make dinner, I give bath, and I read bedtime stories. Sometimes you're there, sometimes you're at a university event or publicity tour, okay? When you get inspired, you keep on writing. I get inspired too sometimes, you know that?
You wanna write? Great. Right.
No, but you remember, I used to sing and play guitar and write songs. I'd still like to do it, but I don't get to, there isn't time.
I don't want people walking away from this video thinking Before Midnight is 100 minutes of arguing. People make this movie out to be far more dramatic and depressing than it is, and after hearing those types of comments, people become afraid to watch it after finishing Before Sunset. Obviously, we all bring our own experiences and baggage to a film. If you recently went through a tough period in a relationship, or maybe saw one end through separation or divorce, this might be a rougher sit for you. There's a fair share of arguing, drama, and doubt. This is certainly the entry in the series with the most conflict, but most of the time Jesse and Celine are alright, if not getting along great. And you need that. You need to see they can still get along. The two are fighting for the moments where they show affection or make each other laugh, because that's when they feel most alive. And trust me, while none of these films are what I would call comedies, there are plenty of humorous moments throughout the series, Before Midnight being no exception. There are purely light and funny moments, like when Jesse speaks in a vaguely European accent.
I don't ogle girls. I make love to them with my eyes.
Oh, wow. I like the Spanish guy. Or is it Greek?
I don't know where I'm from, but I'm very hairy. The nectar of your sex ages like a fine wine.
Uh-oh, my hairy Spanish lover is back.
Greek. I'm Greek
Oh,
now,
you're
for
Greek
sure.
now.
Greek,
Okay.
yeah.
Or when Celine accuses Jesse of being a closet macho who wants a bimbo for a wife, Celine then performing the appropriate role-playing to make her point.
So you're a writer?
Yeah, sure.
So you write, like, books?
I've read a few. Sure, yeah.
Wow. I've never met a writer before.
No,
You must be really smart. You know, I can't even write my own name sometimes when I'm tired.
What kind of books do you like? Huh?
I read this book once, Romeo and...
Juliet. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you know it.
It's very good, yeah. It's a play, actually. No, it's not a book, a play. It's just...
Oh, I thought it was a book based on the movie.
No, a play, yeah.
Oh, okay, it was a play. Wow.
Even in their heated moments, they slip in funny lines.
You like to have sex the exact same way. Every time.
When you got it, you got it.
Kissy, kissy. Titty, titty. Pussy. The only time I get to think now is when I take a shit at the office. I'm starting to associate thoughts with the smell of shit.
While the situation quickly escalates, Before Midnight wisely shows Celine is initially positive, helpful, and supportive in response to Jesse's problem with his son and ex-wife, offering a solution that would allow Celine to take the new job and for Jesse to see Hank more.
Maybe it's time. I mean, I really think it's time. Just tell his mom all this and ask if he can come and live with us. He'd love it. We can put him in that...
That's never gonna
Bilingual.
happen, all right? She's never gonna give me one thing that she's not legally obligated to.
Do you want to call that lawyer again?
No, I don't like that guy. It's terrible.
But as you can see, Jesse won't listen, because he's convinced his way is right. He's too focused on himself. He hasn't seen the obvious, though admittedly still difficult to execute, compromise that would give him and Celine what they want. And too often most of us do that. We forget that relationships are a team sport and we block off what the other is saying. We create frustration and conflict where there didn't need to be any. We get to the point where we need to remind ourselves to not concentrate only on ourselves and to take our partner into account. Jesse and Celine are going through a tough time where what Jesse wants conflicts with what Celine wants and vice versa. But you can see in lulls in their arguments that they still want to work everything out. They're at a pivotal crossroads in their relationship, but they want to find a path they can walk together. And the unique thing about Before Midnight that makes it stand out from most films examining marriage or long-term relationships is that it says these conflicts and crucial points in a relationship don't always have to end in separation. These disagreements about the past, present, and the future can be worked out. But to do that, Jesse and Celine have to realize that these conflicts are going to crop up, and that's okay. They're part of what makes up a relationship. But society idealizes romantic expectations. And Jesse and Celine's problem since Before Sunrise is they, like a lot of us, have placed so much pressure on finding their true love and everything being perfect after that they've made things harder for themselves. Because they think there aren't these huge arguments or rough patches with true love. Whereas their friends didn't idealize romance and so are able to go with the ebbs and flows of a relationship much more easily.
I mean, that's the thing that fucks us up, right? This idea of a soulmate, of someone who will come to complete us and save us from having to take care of ourselves. With Stefanos, I set the bar extremely low. I know he's not gonna meet any of my needs.
Definitely not.
So what about Grandma? Was she a soulmate?
Well, it sounds appealing, but actually your grandmother was more rational than that. She took care of herself and asked me to do the same, with plenty of room to meet in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds ideal.
That is, actually. It is.
It's not the love of one other person that matters, it's the love of life.
Jesse and Celine have finally come to the point where they have to face the fact that relationships aren't fairy tales.
You're just like the little girls and everybody else. You want to live inside some fairy tale, all right? I'm just trying to make things better here. All right, I tell you that I love you unconditionally. I tell you that you're beautiful. I tell you that your ass looks great when you're 80. I'm trying to make you laugh.
Okay.
All right, I put up with plenty of your shit. And if you think I'm just some dog who's gonna keep coming back, then you're wrong. But if you want true love, then this is it. This is real life. It's not perfect, but it's real.
Love and marriage, or long-term relationships, aren't perfect. They aren't happily ever afters. Because marriage is talking, marriage is fighting, marriage is laughing, marriage is crying, marriage is disagreement and unity, marriage is good times and bad. Marriage is work. But if it's working, marriage is also love. And no matter the struggles, if there's love, you can make it work. You can keep connecting.
Τα λεφτά μου όλα δίνω για ένα ταγκό και ένα αγγίγμα σου κάτω από το τραπέζι. Αδιάφορα τριγύρω μου να κοιτώ στο γυμνό λαιμό μου το χέρι σου να παίζει. Τα λεφτά μου όλα δίνω για μια βραδιά για ρομαντικές φιγούρες πάνω στην πίστα να παραμερίζουν όλοι από τη φωτιά που θα στέλνει το κορμί μας στο πρίμα βίστα.
Hello everyone, hope you enjoyed day 3 of Solomon Grundy Week. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment. I have a host of videos for you to check out today. On the left are my reviews of Before Sunrise and Before Sunset if you haven't watched them yet, and on the top right is Tuesday's entry in Solomon Grundy Week, and on the bottom right you'll find Thursday's entry if you're watching this video any other time besides its premiere day. Catch you next time.